So, yeah, I bought a VHS in 2025. A VHS? Why? And it got me thinking, why are people buying these old formats that most of us can't even play anymore? It's 2025. Who still owns a VHS player? I don't know how to test it. So to dig into this type of release a little more, I'm going to take us along to the 80s video shop and see what they think. Ready to go? I bought something in to show you, Rob.
Take a look. Let's check it
Something
out,
special.
mate.
I've left it in the box as well, so I don't spoil you.
How can you do
And
that?
it's,
This is unopened, is it?
I don't like this one bit.
I'm intrigued by the label on there, which has piqued my interest. Does it
So-
say Vice Press on there, but I don't think it's a poster.
It's a very special release. I thought it lined in quite well with your store, so
let's-
feel free to
Can I dive
dig in, see what you think. Oh, it's another box. Look at that.
It's like,
A
what
box
do
in
they
a
call
box.
them? The what's it dolls? Oh my goodness, look at this. It's in like the old school NTSC classic. John Carpenter's They Live.
Now, what's good about this? If you look, special white tape. It's got the label down, but
And I'm
each
just admiring the actual article at first.
good,
because
isn't it?
they've done it so well.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick.
they've got
Such a
each
nice
tape
job.
they've produced. I think it was 5 different ones. Has a special slogan on there as well from the movie.
Look at that. Submit. Oh, that's lovely.
all out of bubblegum.
Because, I mean, these things aren't cheap. Doing videotapes nowadays, it's like vinyl. It's not cheap to do. Fantastic. The question is, do we put it on to see how it plays on a CRT TV?
Absolutely.
This is like the ultimate test these days.
Yeah, see if it scratches the label
Yeah.
off
Well, I
or
always
anything
wonder,
for me.
people say, could you sell an album on cassette tape now and not actually have any music on there? No one had ever noticed.
No.
It's going in.
Oh.
Some volume. Oh my goodness.
Straight
Look
into the
at this.
movie.
Just to prove the film is on there.
Yeah. But I was wondering, with it being a sort of new VHS, if there's any noticeable difference quality-wise. I don't know if you...
Yeah, that's a good
noticed
point actually. I think with this being the old format CRT telly, you're going to get that old. It's just going to look old.
Well, I think that's the...
Oh, it's brilliant.
not the beauty of it, but the nostalgia and the
Totally.
aesthetic. And
But I think different people watch them for different reasons these days.
yeah.
I think modern films, to me personally, they don't look like the films I remember. Which is obvious. I mean, we're talking decades later, but everything is too clear. This has just got the warmth to it. It's obviously done in a letterbox format, so that's something that's noticeable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted, we could put the original film on VHS.
Have you got the original
We've
on
got
your
the-
shelves?
Yeah, we've got it, sir.
I'm just going to spin around while that's playing. See if we can find it.
Yeah, we'll let you find
Now,
it. Because
would
it's not got the same cover this one's got.
Would it be under horror or would it be under sci-fi?
Well, I filed it under sci-fi.
See, I know where it is. Already. Let's put them side by side. Oh, I got that CRT flicking in.
Not heard that noise before.
Is that the rewind noise?
Yeah, didn't chew it, mate. There were noises I'd not heard before. But I mean, it's going to be a brand new tape stock, though, isn't it? It's like, it'll be made all totally different. So I mean, this has always been a super popular tape, but just noticing just lately it's become a lot more collectible.
Yeah.
Just lately, the original.
Classic film, man.
The Guild one. What people know who've got this tape before. Yeah, let's put these two bad boys side by side. Now there's a contrast for you. Yeah, it's a bit of an upgrade. The white tape does look fantastic. I'd love to speak to the guys at Vice Press and pick the brains about how they sourced all this. I'd be interested to know if there's a supplier in the UK that does the coloured ones, or if they've had to outsource it from further afield.
I mean, the great thing about your rental copy, though, and a lot of rental copies, it's got You say it's got a reversible sleeve.
Yes, and there's
Let's
a few tapes
see.
that crop up every now and again. This is my favourite one, and hopefully people agree. This one I picked. The backs normally stay the same. It's the front switch. So that's the other choice, which is more of just a photo montage. This cover's great if you know the film.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if I'd not seen the film I was going in cold, I'd love to not know about any of what happens in the film. Like, less spoilers.
I think they've done a cool job. I don't think it's necessarily about the VHS. I know as much as you love the VHS, I don't think their products are necessarily about the VHS. I think it's the art of it. The cover art of the sleeve and the design on the VHS. Cause
It's become an art piece, Andy, because that's going to be an argument. And you spoke about VHS being a dead format, and why do we need VHS when you've got such better looking things? I mean, that's an argument which I have. It's like people can argue that vinyl sounds better, it sounds warmer. Can you argue that VHS looks better? You probably can't. That's a pretty loose thing, but like what I said earlier, there is a warmth to it.
We're seeing quite a few companies start to release VHS of their new movies. Sometimes I consider, are the new movies worth being on VHS? I don't get the point when we've got 4K, when we've got Blu-ray. And does it make a difference that Vice Press are releasing the classic movies that were originally on VHS? I'm not sure. There are some movies now that are coming out I'm not interested in myself, but it's the new movies like Alien Romulus has had a VHS and Terrifier 3 has had a VHS. What do you think to the new movies being released on VHS? I know this is an old movie and it's got the nice artwork and things like that, but what's your opinion on these new movies coming to VHS?
It's a strange one. I think what Vice Press have done with this is, like I say, they've took it that stage further. I don't see that much point of just doing a VHS release of the new film. Like you say, if there's like Alien Romulus and all this kind of thing, whereas it's probably just going to sit on somebody's shelf where, is that just seen as an art piece?
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. Whereas this has been taken the next stage. And that is so cool.
Did you see?
That's something I'd display on my wall or something like that.
These are the big X-Rental covers in the UK, they're bigger than the standard release, and they look cooler generally, and they've got the reverse art and everything.
I mean, that's the discussion what some people have, is like, why are the X-Rental ones more collectible? Obviously, these are more similar to like the US releases.
Yeah.
The US ones came in the card cases, just an example. We've got a Flash Gordon US release, so it's more along the lines of that in the card, so that it's matched identical pretty much. Several versions of this with you just got to have them all. It's like Pokemon, got to get them all. To be honest, at the end of the day, anything that brings interest into VHS and brings new people into, if you want to call it a community or something like that, it's not a bad thing. The more interesting, it keeps it alive. There'll be people who will come back and enjoy it for a short time and then move on to another thing, but then you will have people, we've got young people coming into the shop who are buying tapes and enjoying it and getting enthusiastic about films and the history of them. Even if only a handful of those people get into it for the long haul, it's got to be a good thing. So anything like this, I totally encourage it, and it's obviously done with, it's not just thrown out there. They've not just got a license for a film, got some dodgy scan of the packaging, which some places do. This is just incredibly presented.
The colour on that image really pops. I think it's really good.
It's a laminated cover. Yeah, there's a lot of love gone into this. So packaging design, Matt Ferguson, I salute you on that one.
Thing is, while I'm here as well, I know I visited you, and I really appreciate your time, but I also want to spend some money here as well, so I'm going to have a look around.
Mate.
I know there's stuff that I want to buy. It's all over the place. I'm going to show you some stuff now. Now, even though the video store is more like a museum, they still have loads of geeky, film fan related products that they sell to keep the lights on. When I visit the store, I always like to try and pick up a little bit of something just to help support them. And I mean, there's plenty of choice. They've got t-shirts, they've got collectibles, they've got socks, they've got handmade figures, as you can see in the video. If you want to support the 80s Video Shop, I'll pop links in the description below to their online store and also the YouTube channel. They also had the VHS here of Sneakers. Now this one I won't be picking up because I'll be waiting for that Kino Lorber 4K edition that's due out soon. Now, it's time for me to make the decision with what I'm picking up and get back to base. We've seen the VHS release of the likes of Terrifier 3 and Alien Romulus, which to me just felt like a complete waste of time. But somehow I was still tempted into a VHS purchase of the classic They Live. And I think it's because of the extra work that Vice Press seem to put into these things. They produce some beautiful artwork and they've transferred that across to the VHS. It's got some lovely cover art there. The colours really do pop off this thing. And also added to that, they've got the extra design on the actual VHS. And it looks great. To me, this type of release, it isn't about it being on VHS. It's about the display possibilities, the collectability, and the sheer beauty of them. And with my copy of They Live on VHS, this is never going to get played, especially over my Blu-ray copies that I have here. I'm going to try and find a home for it on my shelves, and don't worry, I'm not going to dive into buying a VHS player just so I can watch this thing. This is purely for display and the artistry of the work that went into it. And I very nearly forgot, didn't I? In case you wanted to know what I picked up from the 80s video store, I went for a framed picture. One of the lenticular horror frames, which has 3 classic slasher villains from the 80s. We've got Jason, we've got Michael Myers, and we've got Freddy Krueger. Nice little pickup. Hopefully it helps support the video shop, and I'm going to try and find a home for this. Look okay there? Oh, and one more thing before I forget. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't already, please give it a thumbs up and a little subscribe.